introduction, I pass the floor to our Madam President, Patricia Yap. The floor is yours, Patricia.
Thank you, our SAA and FAQ Master. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Advanced #ArdentSpeakers Masterclass. With this, give yourself a big round of applause for being here. And we are all very excited because so many of us are from different clubs, different districts, and different countries. Go ahead and put your club or your country, your district in the chat box if you have not done so. And we have also put the virtual background in the agenda in the chat box. And go ahead and help yourself. With this, ladies and gentlemen, me as a president, certainly I want to welcome and give all of you a huge virtual hug for being here. There is going to be a lot of exciting thing and exciting moment here today. It could be the life-changing moment in your life right now as well before we hit 31st December 2023. With this, I'm so honored to introduce you to our Toastmaster of the day. She is certainly my sister, and she has been connecting me with so many great leaders in the world of Toastmasters. And today I am very proud to introduce Alicia Curtis, Distinguished Toastmaster, presently serving as District 49 Division A Director, also the past District 100 Program Quality Director. She is going to be our Toastmaster of the day. With this, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause to welcome Alicia Curtis, Distinguished Toastmaster, today on the virtual stage. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Sister Pat. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to District 51 and welcome to Advanced #ArdentSpeakers. Just before we start, if I could get everyone except for myself and the speaker to please mute themselves and to please make sure you turn your screens on. As we said before, an engaging speaker would love to see your faces. We do not want you hidden. I'm only seeing about 6 or 7 of your screens on. Please, if you can, if you have the capability, turn your screens on because David wants to be able to see you. And I want to be able to see you as well because I like to speak to people, not to a black screen, if that is possible. Anyway, welcome to today's session, a very interesting session and one I have been excited for quite some time. We asked David a couple of weeks ago and he said yes, which we are very excited. This is the first time in over 5 years that David has spoken outside of Australia to an international audience of this particular size. So we do thank him after 5 years for being able to come today. I've known David for almost 13 years in Toastmasters. He's one of the only people I've actually met in person. There's only 2 people I've met in person in this room today. That's David and also Lucky from Malaysia when we were over at the International Convention in 2014. But as I said, I know David through Toastmasters here in Australia. So let me read you a bit about David. And let me tell you, this is a very interesting biography that I have gotten together. Let's meet David Fisher today, a dynamic and visionary hailing from Sydney, Australia, whose professional journey is nothing short of a thrilling adventure. David's formidable career spans through project management and also business improvement process. His knack for consulting ventures is impressively multifaceted, including property investment, debt consolidation, software development, and the strategic launch of a startup. Most recently, he's ventured into the world of debt recovery for local government agencies. David is a lifelong learner, holding a diploma in business information systems through KLZ in Zurich, Switzerland, and is currently embarking on a mission to become a real estate buyer's agent. But this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to achievements and contributions. However, it's in the realm of Toastmasters that David's story truly ignites today. A dedicated Toastmaster since 2003, he's not only been a steadfast member, but also a chartered member of his home club, Sydney Speakers, located in Mascot, Sydney. In the Toastmasters arena, he has held a myriad of high-profile leadership roles that have left an indelible mark today. As he says, Toastmasters has changed my life with an infectious enthusiasm when he told me that. It has become the vessel through which he discovered his voice and the unwavering confidence to wield it. This is transformation that has allowed him to profound connections and individuals from all walks of life, empowering him to lead in the realms of business and beyond. As a luminary who graced the Toastmasters International Board of Directors from 2016 to 2018, David played a pivotal role in playing and shaping the organization's future. Collaborating closely with the board, he contributed to the development, support, and modification of policies and procedures that serve as the guiding star for Toastmasters International, propelling towards fulfilling its mission. David Fisher's life is riveting, a tale of audacious undertakings and tireless dedication. He exemplifies what it means to be a leader, both in the world of business and within the global Toastmasters community. His story today, already awe-inspiring, promises to continue unfolding with even greater feats on the horizon. What a wonderful biography we have been provided. Please welcome all the way from Australia, one of my mentors, distinguished Toastmaster, past international director, David Fisher, with the power of mentoring. Please welcome David for the first time in 5 years to an international audience.
Thank you very much, Alicia, and thank you very much, Patricia, and your committee and club for having me today. I wanted to keep listening to that introduction. I thought it was fantastic. Thank you very much, Alicia. Really have a way with words. Thank you so much. It's great. Look, yeah, mentoring and the title of these series, "There's the Power of Mentoring," is so adept and it's so correct. You know, it is powerful. I think mentoring, to me, is one of, if not the most powerful things we can do for our members and for each other and for ourselves. And I don't just mean mentoring, but being a mentee as well. It's most powerful. Now, there may be some questions. So I believe we're going to have a question and answer at the end. I do have a handout for you towards the end of the session, so I can put that in the chat box with most of the main points. So what I'd like to cover today is mainly three main areas. That is that, what are we doing by being a mentor? So what is it to be a mentor and where does it lead us? On the other side of the coin, as because mentoring is a relationship, how do we be a mentee and how do we really be successful as a mentee? Excuse me, I thought I'd turn my phone down. And so being a mentee. And for that part, I'd like to thank Michael Oser, who is also a past international director. I served on the board with Michael, and some of his thoughts and ideas will come through in today's session as well. So I'd just like to thank him for that. And to end off, I would love to address just a few common misbeliefs and possibly pain points that we see being a mentor or a mentee. But firstly, I'd like you to consider this question. If I told you that everything would change for you and the world would open up for you if you just did one thing different, would you do that thing? And I hope everyone's nodding their heads here because I think the answer can only be yes. Well, it was about 20 years ago that I was in a business mentoring session with a business mentor from Austin, Texas. At the beginning of the session, it was about 30 odd people there. I had to get up and introduce the person sitting next to me after interviewing them. And I got up thinking I was going to just astonish people with my abilities at speaking. Unfortunately, nothing came out of my mouth. In fact, nothing came out of my brain because it was empty. It was vacant. I stood up and I froze. And of course, the advice that I got at that time from my mentor that changed my life was I should go and have a look at Toastmasters. And I did, and I'm still there. And as Alicia said, I'm a lifelong learner. I'm proud of that. And I think that's something that we should all be, a lifelong learner. Some months later, I got up to my 7th speech. So I was well within my first 10 speeches. And my mentor said to me, David, for your 7th speech, I want you to do something that we wouldn't expect, to do something totally different. And I did. That club in the city in Sydney, professional speakers, they knew, and I can see a member here who was there, and that's Diane Law. It's lovely to see you. that club, all members knew that I can't cook. I still can't cook, and I especially couldn't cook back then. So I decided to just demonstrate to that club how to cook cheese fondue. Oh, and it went so well too. But during that speech, where I got out of my comfort zone, for the first time, I saw a lady in the audience react to something that I'd said. She smiled, nothing more. But at that point, which was the first time that I could actually see the audience, let alone see the lights, because I was so fearful of public speaking, that opened up the world for me. So that one thing so long ago opened up the world for me, and I got enthused. It gave me permission to do something silly, something out of the realm for me. And that theme has actually continued down through the years. You know, even on the board of directors, we all have mentors. We're encouraged to learn how a board works, how to talk to people, how to address people. We have top leaders in our organization on the board, in the executive, and they want us to do things right from the beginning. So we get a mentor right at the beginning. The first day of board, after the big party at the convention the night before, is training day, and we need to really be on the board there. So we need a mentor, and we have a mentor. One of the second year board members would mentor the first year, and when we go to the second year, we mentor one of the first years as well. So we need we need a mentor, and not only that, we need to be a good mentee, and hopefully that has been the case. So what is mentoring? When we think about mentoring, it's all about giving people a chance at what they want to do. Now, coming up now is my one and only slide, and I'm going to attempt to share that. Can everyone see that?
We can see.
Yeah,
we can.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is what I call it's giving everyone a chance. It's the transferable skills that we can learn in Toastmasters. They're all the ones inside the circle there. And the idea is that with these skills, we can go outside Toastmasters to the places outside the circle and actually perform there. Because even though in Toastmasters, we want to be a good Toastmaster, we want to be able to go out to these other areas outside of Toastmasters, business, church, organizations, whatever it is, and actually perform there. And that is where mentoring comes in. We need someone experienced to show us a lot of these things inside the circle. Now, inside the circle, you see a lot of varied skills there, and you're not going to find one person to be able to mentor you in each one of these, if that's what you need. Now, I'm going to take it off again. This is where I may need a bit of advice from Alicia to be able to do that. Okay, I stop share. Stop share. Hey, wasn't that great? Haven't I learned something? Alicia has mentored me in how to share and unshare. Very good. Thank you. So it's really about giving everyone a chance. Now, when new members join our clubs, they join for varying reasons. So it could be career, it could be just to get confident in front of people. Whatever they join for, they expect the club to be able to meet their needs. Now, the club can't just automatically do that. And that's why we need a mentor or a couple of mentors to help us through at least the first stages. New members don't normally ask the questions in front of a group as in a meeting. So they need a private sphere, they need a face-to-face to ask whatever question they can, where they can feel safe to do that. Even if it's just about the Toastmasters program, club standards, customs, traditions, or whatever. The mentor is so important in introducing you to our community, the value of mentoring. Even senior members need mentors. I still need a mentor. I've still got a mentor. I've got a couple of mentors for different things. One of the VP of my club is a mentor to me, and it's been most valuable for me. I want more specialized skills. How do I entertain? How do I motivate? and all those other things. Mentoring also, well, I do believe that everyone eventually can be a mentor, and I think that the benefits of clubs are incredible when it comes to mentoring as far as membership building is concerned, retaining members, and that's done through quality. Quality can come very much from mentoring. But mentoring is a relationship. It's not just sort of having one person telling you how you should do things. It's a relationship. It's a to and fro. You know, we swap information, and it's not only the mentee that will learn things. Mentoring plays a crucial role in shaping our emotions, our behavior, and our overall well-being, as far as being in a club, but also taking those skills and gaining the confidence to take them outside to other organizations. So what are we doing by being a mentor? So I'd like to ask you, maybe 2 or 3 answers here. What does a mentor do? You might just shout out a couple of things for us. What does a mentor
Guys,
do?
unmute. Guys, unmute or raise your hands. Use the reactions and raise your hand. Yannicka?
Helping each other grow.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
Prada?
Spending time with your mentee to find out what he or she wants to achieve in Toastmasters International.
Yeah, thank you very much. And these answers are spot on. Finding out what they need is so important. That's the first thing we want to do. I'm going to move on. These are all correct. But I'd like to expand the pie a little. Now, I know most of you, if not all of you, are seasoned Toastmasters. You're in an advanced club, or you've got district roles, maybe area director, division director, district director, maybe. I'd like to give you an example of a theoretical district, District 999. Now, I think there are 120 districts in Toastmasters at the moment, a bit over. So this is District 999. It's a theoretical district, and it doesn't exist. But the behaviours I've seen in this theoretical district, I have actually seen to a degree around the tracks. So I'll just say that in this 1 year, there was a district director who is a big guy. He was robust, he was loud, he was demanding, he was somewhat boisterous. Unfortunately, this is something he wasn't aware of. When he was a club growth director, he complained bitterly about his district director and that she never listens to him. So I kind of knew it all. I hope you don't know some people like this in your districts, but they do exist. By October of his year, so by now, he had lost his program quality director, his club growth director, his public relations manager, and a division director through his behaviour. Now, I don't see this as being totally his fault. He should be a bit more aware, but he just had the behaviour that got him to where he was at that time, and he wasn't aware of anything. Now, in the end, by December, people were leaving the district and some even leaving Toastmasters because of the cliques that were formed to back him or to go against him. This happens when the leadership is not quite on track and not really within the culture of Toastmasters. So what's the problem here? Now, I said that he probably didn't have quite the awareness that he needed to have, but I believe there was a lack of mentoring. Whether you're a new member, you're a president of a club, you're an area director, division director, district director, board of directors member, international director, we should have mentors. And not only that, we should be a good mentee. The mentor can help us form strategy. The mentor can help us with our communication style. The mentor can help us plan the year ahead and tactics. But if we don't have that, we don't have it. No, I really believe that when the student is ready, the teacher will turn up. And I think in this time, the student may not have been ready. Either that or his mentor was giving a little bit of, was maybe not giving the right direction to him. And remember that mentoring is a relationship. It's connection, association, or a bond that exists between 2 or more individuals. Now, I really want to emphasize the mentoring is a relationship. It's not a hierarchical thing. We work together. for our community and for ourselves. We are a community with common values and culture. Now, when I say culture, I don't mean if we're from Australia or we're from the US, or we're from Asia or whatever. I mean a positive culture that is inclusive of everyone in the district. And I believe inclusivity is so important. And that's one of those things we can get through mentoring from someone else who is more experienced than us. A positive culture is really crucially important so that the ongoing integrity of the organisation continues and cliques are not formed. Inclusivity is a major task for us, that all members have opportunities, that it promotes diversity and makes sure that everyone feels valued and respected. I think this is one of those things that can come from a more experienced person. We as district officers, as club officers, are stewards of cultures and values. If this breaks down in 1 year, as it did in District 999, as I say, the apple rots from the core. It will continue on for the years after. I feel that possibly mentoring was not one of those things that was championed the years before this district director came in. At the end of the year, that District 999 was 10% smaller, so 10% of clubs gone as a result of a toxic environment in the district. And this to me was because, or partly because, there was no mentoring. So as far as fostering a mentoring relationship, how do we go about that? And we heard that before, that we need to sit down with our mentee and ask them, what do they need? What do they want us to help them with? Where are they going? What direction would they like to pursue? I've got a whole list of these points, and they will be in the handout when I give it to you. I'd just like to cover a few of them now. Firstly, as we've heard before, and as a great point, set clear expectations in the first conversation that we have with our mentees. Set clear expectations, clearly define goals and objectives. It's great to be able to share an understanding of what the mentee hopes to achieve. Now, this goes both ways as well, but especially for the mentee in this case. We need to actively listen, and not listen, and the whole time we're listening, deciding what I want to say next. Actively listen and take note of that. This builds trust and respect. Have empathy and be supportive. Understand your mentee's challenges and concerns. As we heard so many times before, stand in their shoes and feel how it is for them to be a mentee of you, or what are the challenges they're facing. And especially maintain regular contact. Now, one thing I really like to pass on to a mentee is to give them to encourage them to have some independence and develop critical thinking. Now, this will eventually help as they start to evaluate. And I like the analogy of, and you may have heard this one before, don't give them fish to eat. Tell them how to fish, or teach them how to fish, so that they can be independent themselves. And I think that's a great analogy. Of course, we maintain regular communication. Be the example for them. Be that person that they can see and they can emulate. I know in my path through Toastmasters, at just about every level, I've had the opportunity to see really good speakers, great leaders, great men and women. And my learning style is to emulate. I need to see that. So we need to think about, for our mentee, how do they learn? And I'm sure that's one of them. So a successful mentoring relationship is built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. By being a supportive and guiding force, we can help our mentees to achieve their goals and realize their full potential. Now, I'd like to give you an example of a young man in the club near my home club, at ArdentSpeakers Toastmasters. It's nearby. He was a young guy in his 30s. He came into the club. He got very, very interested in the evaluation as a tool, and got very interested in how to effectively give an evaluation. Within 6 months of intense mentoring, because he asked and asked and asked and asked the questions, wanted to speak with his mentor all the time. He became district evaluation champion from nothing. And he is an incredible evaluator because he's had the guidance. Now, he really put himself out there, and that's the whole thing. He committed to his progress and also to the members of the clubs. That's what we're doing when we're committing like that. It's the members of our clubs that benefit from this, from every bit of growth that we have. So now, being a mentee, and I'll talk about this because it is a relationship. And I'll say the same thing again. A successful mentoring relationship is built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. By being a mentee, you can help your mentor achieve the goals and realize their full potential. So you might remember back to the transferable skills circle. I showed you the circle of Toastmasters. Mentorship is, you may have not read all the way through because there's quite a few points there, but mentorship is one of those things, one of those points that we learn in Toastmasters. How do we learn mentorship if we don't have a mentee? I don't think we can. It's important to be a great mentee as it is to be a great mentor. It's a skill worth learning and a skill that we can definitely take out with us, but the intention must be positive. Think back to the district director of District 999. I don't think there was any positive intention there. Now, he only did what he knew. How he got this far already, but with the intention of changing would have really helped him and the whole district. The Toastmasters International mission is that we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. When I think about a mentoring relationship, this portrays exactly that mission. And it's why Toastmasters is so keen for us to form mentoring relationships. So I have a few points how to be a good mentee, and we probably already know them, but I'm going to say it anyway. So I think having the theme of being a good mentee is just as important as being a mentor. Well, you've already joined Toastmasters. First step, fantastic, congratulations. You've taken notice of what you've needed, and maybe someone's advised you to join Toastmasters. Have a goal. If we don't have a goal, if we don't know where we're going, if we don't know where we're going, anywhere will get us there. So we need to have a goal. We need to know what we want to learn and grow into. It is our responsibility to be challenged. So I would suggest look for challenges. If you're on the roster to speak at the next meeting, go for it. Don't shy away. We're not going to bite. Well, we don't bite very hard anyway. But no, we don't bite. And go for it. Just step up and go for it. You will be supported. Initiate contact with your mentor. Now, your mentor is busy. You're busy. Sometimes a mentor can't get back to you. So it's good to actually initiate contact and ask them what you need. Can we talk? Don't sit back and after a year complain that your mentor didn't do anything. It doesn't work like that. It's life. It's just the same as life. Be willing and eager to learn. Be open to advice, suggestions, and all the feedback you can possibly get. Today, after this session, I will get feedback because I asked for it. And every time we speak or do anything, we should be getting feedback. By the way, ask, ask, ask. There are no stupid questions. There are stupid questions, but ask them anyway. We encourage stupid questions. We never know. We might think it's a stupid question, but we never know if the person we're asking has another perspective than us. And that helps us to grow as well. Take your time. It's incremental progress, just like everything. It's incremental. When you grow, others will notice, and you will get that feedback, and there's nothing better than that. During my candidacy for the board, I had a mentor. She was a Canadian lady, Patty, who was in her youth, was an Olympic level skater, so figure skater, ice skater. She was also a journalist and a writer. She combined those two elements, being Olympic ready and mentoring me and a few other people as well, gaining access to the board or candidacy, to be Olympic ready at the time of the elections, but also helping us to develop keynote speeches, responses to tricky questions in the interviews and all those things. She was a great mentor, and I'll go back to her again. She was absolutely phenomenal. When I was district director, I had 6 mentors for different things. It's really important to do this. If you look back at the circle of Toastmasters, which I can also send you, for example, if you've got a mentor that is helping you through the speeches and how to speak with informative or motivational or whatever, but then you say to them after, I'd like you to guide me to set a vision and direction because I'm starting a company and I need to set up a strategy. I don't know that many people have actually done that. So I really think that if we can pick mentors that are specific to different things for us, it's much, much better. I had one that just looked at my presence and my speeches, how I was dressed. I had one that I just went and had a coffee with, and we so-called chewed the fat. That just means talking about this, that, and everything else. I had another one that helped me with training. It was totally different things. And I think it's really important to have those different aspects. It's a decent responsibility being a mentor, but the question is seriously, where do you want to go? And that's how you choose your mentors, and that's how you progress. So some of the common misbeliefs and pain points, well, I've just covered one, and that is basically, if you can get more than one mentor, it's great. I've heard here in our district here a couple of times, I've heard people say that, oh, they were this person's mentor, but now they're talking to someone else. And I say to them, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Doesn't mean they've dropped you or they're ignoring you. They just need other advice. They need another perspective. And that's fair enough. We all need that going through life. I like the analogy of horses for courses. So someone who's built a company will be able to teach you strategy and vision. Someone who is a world champion public speaker will obviously be able to teach you how to do an inspirational speech. It's important not to judge one mentor because they don't know a certain area. And I like the analogy of this saying that don't judge a fish by how he climbs a tree, because that's not going to work. That's totally off, that's totally irrelevant. So we need to find mentors that are going to help us in a certain area. Now, tiring relationships. In a mentoring relationship, it's possible to encounter challenges or dynamics that don't work. In these cases, it's important to, if there's a problem with if we have a problem, I think the first thing to do is consider me. How am I, self-reflection, what am I doing? How can I change things? Do we have open communication? Can we have an honest communication, conversation? Clarify expectations and always seek feedback. Now, remember that not every mentoring relationship is going to be a perfect fit, and that we'll only know that with time by doing it. So I'd say just be honest with ourselves, be honest with the mentoring partner, whether that's the mentee or it's a mentor. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. We waste time if we're wasting time with a mentorship. We need to know when to end the mentorship, and if or a relationship, learn from an experience, and if that happens, then do it in a gracious manner. Another thing I'd like to say is for clubs, that we do this at Sydney Speakers, is we revolve the mentoring program every 6 to 8 months so that mentees can have a different mentor, and it's just the expected way to go. There's no malice there. There's nothing. If the mentee wants to keep on with the mentor, fantastic. If they're both in agreement, fantastic. No problem at all. So mentoring is a learning experience, whether you're a mentee or the mentor or whatever, in so many different ways. We learn how to mentor, we learn active listening, we learn relationship building, collaboration, tailoring a solution, all those things that are valid outside of the circle. it is a contribution to the lives of others, and we lift each other in the meantime by doing so. We lift the mentor and we lift the mentee. It's such a valuable contribution. Really, our greatest goal is to make a difference in people's lives and to serve our community. Our greatest legacy is the imprint that we leave on other people. And that's how they will remember us. And that's whether a mentor or a mentee. I sincerely hope you'll look to strengthen your mentoring relationships or take on new mentoring relationships and form or reform these to make them great ones. This is for your benefit, it's for your partner's benefit, and for our community. Our community grows as a result of our growth. It's so important to remember. It's just a little bit about what a mentorship is, how to be a good mentee, the other side of the coin, and a few of the pain points. I hope that it's been of some value to you today. And I thank you so much for allowing me to contribute to the meeting. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, David. Ladies and gentlemen, please unmute yourselves and give David a huge round of applause. Let's cheer him. Yay! Come on. More excitement. Yay!
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to hand over to the FAQ master, Alif, and he will now take us through the FAQ session. Thank you, Alif.
Thank you, our Toastmaster of the day, Alicia. David, your contributions are not over yet. We still have a couple of questions for you to contribute your wise and huge experience in Toastmasters with us. So let's just jump right in, David. If you're okay.
Yes, please, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So I have a question by Prada. So she said that she has a mentee who often builds on her speeches last minute, 10 minutes before in her question. And it makes her feel like she's not doing a good job as a mentor. How do you think that you can help Prada to improve as a mentor?
Yeah, definitely. A long time ago, we had a member of one of our clubs who did the same speech 10 times, and it became a little bit boring. And I think we need to consider the audience. When we speak, it's for the audience. It's information we want to give them. The other side, and on that point, is that that they need to give different perspective to the audience. Even if you're talking the same theme, they need to do it from different directions. The other thing is that people have a decision themselves to make. Do they want to grow or not? And now I think it's a good thing writing a speech in 10 minutes and delivering it. I think we've probably all done that. We all are very, very busy. But in order to grow, I think the mentor probably needs to give a gentle nudge, so a challenge to do something more. If the mentee decides not to take it, that's totally their decision. And it can be a little bit frustrating, but we also then need to understand that, again, putting ourselves in the other person's shoes, is that understanding what their constraints are. So in the end, we can be a great mentor, but the student needs to be ready. And I'd say the short answer to the question, I think, the way I understand it, is that we need to just understand, and we need to give them some good advice, but then understand.
Yeah, agree, David. Understanding is the path to communication and effective communication. So there's be also another perspective from a mentor, a mentoring question by a member from Taiwan, District 67, by the name of Damon. How does a mentor, you said earlier that you cannot judge a fish by its ability to climb trees. So how does a mentor build a scaffold for the mentee to advance?
How does a mentor, sorry, I didn't miss that. I missed the last part of the question.
How to build a scaffold for mentee to advance?
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's a great question. Thanks, Damon. Thank you very much. I think that, and I'll go back to the circle of Toastmasters, is that as a mentor, we have experience in certain things. If we need to build the next level of the scaffold, and I'll give you an example, as someone who's won a club contest, an area contest, going up to division, it's another jump. Are we able to actually take them that far? Let's find another level by finding someone else to help them out. And as it goes back to this point again of we don't have to be the only mentor. Mentoring can be a team game. I think it's very, very important. Yeah. So I'd say for me, it is involving other people that may have more specialized skills than us in certain areas. We all have our favorites and we all have our challenges and things that we do better.
Right. Thank you, David. Yeah, agree. Just like they say, it takes a village to raise a baby.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect analogy. Thank you.
So let's flip the view for a moment, David, to the mentee. Now, what do you think is the most important asset for a mentee to look in finding a mentor?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of aspects there that, you know, we look to some, I go back to some of the clubs I've been in and I've been able to emulate different people for different reasons. Yeah, and I found them that generally found that they would give me advice if I asked, and some would give me advice without asking, which is fine. And I take these as my mentors as well. I believe, now I go back to it's a relationship. If we can find someone in the club or in the district or another club that we have something in common with, or we know it's going to be a pleasant relationship. It's going to be not just a hierarchical thing, but we know that we can get on with this person. There's something we have in common and you're comfortable with that person. I think that's a good way to start. So I think, you know, if for a new member to be given a mentor and maybe then thinking, I'm not going far, we need to maybe ask, just look around, get a feel for the people around us and see, just get a feeling for how they might be able to help us. Yeah. So again, it's a relationship. We don't all get on. And I think that that's okay. We just need to be aware of that. And then, you know, as said before, we just move on to something else or someone else. It's fine.
Yeah, agree. Thank you, David. Next, you said earlier in your sessions that you have 6 mentors during your term as the district director. Now, our chat master definitely asked, would be having a lot of mentors be confusing for the poor old mentee, little old mentee?
Absolutely. I think confusion is the first step to growth. I do. There's a philosophy, I think it's called provision effect or something like that, where we get to a certain level and then we're confused, we go around in circles, and then somehow we come out of that level to the next level and we grow. So, I mean, we're all different. You know, some people really like to focus on one mentor, others don't mind. I was happy for people to tell me their thoughts. And I think it's because all of my mentors, I had them for different reasons. They're all specialized and I didn't see them mostly all on the same day. So it was fine. But I think we all have our own ideas, our own feelings, our thoughts around that. I don't find the confusion too much because they're all specialized. Yeah. So, I mean, it's totally a personal thing. Yeah.
Right. Thanks, David. Yeah, agree. Each mentor has their own specialization, as they say.
Exactly. Yeah, I get the point of the question though, that you know, if there's too much information, then there's probably a time that we need to set boundaries a little bit, and that's also a part of a mentee relationship. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very good question. Yeah. Thank you.
So unfortunately, due to time, we will limit it to one more question, David. And if anyone have any more questions, do stay tuned to have. We are gonna have another ADA session. Ask David anything session. ADA means to have session. So David will be having some more questions after this. So the final question for the FAQ. Now, you said earlier that don't give someone a fish to eat, but teach them how to fish. Can you share a couple of examples that you encounter this type of analogy?
Yeah, just recently I've got a mentee in my club. She's a new member. She delivered her icebreaker last week, and it was a really, really good icebreaker. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to give her too much contribution because she was too good. But anyway, I helped her out somewhat. She wants to know how she can deliver a speech without notes. Because she'd written out a speech, she had remembered every word of the speech, every pause, everything. And sometime during the speech, she forgot a few things and she stumbled a little bit. I had mentioned to her earlier that it's possible to remember a speech, but let's do that a bit later. Now that she's had the experience where she just forgot a few words, she got a little bit confused, she carried on, it was fine. She will want to do that and she will start to do that. So it's really, sometimes it's a matter of just making a suggestion. So the suggestion that I will make to her when I see her next Wednesday is that instead of remembering, internalize the speech. I won't tell her anymore. And then maybe the week after we'll have a talk about that because she will have thought about it and been able to implement something. So internalize, you'll hear this a lot from world champions and different people, internalizing the speech. And it's a really good tip to give, but they have to find out themselves. Now, we all internalize different. Do each of us have a phrase at the beginning of each paragraph that we remember so we can transition onto it? Do we just go up there and win it? We've got 3 points and we're going to talk about them. So it's one of those things, it's an experiential thing, which in the end is what Toastmasters is, it's experiential. It's a great question because sometimes we do tend to be a little bit dictatorial and tell people what they should do. I believe we should just step back a little bit and let them learn. It's certainly been the case for me, I can tell you that.
Thank you, thank you, David. I know I said that I will take one last question, but let's sneak in one more question because we have a lot of questions. If you're okay, David, are you okay?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
So let's take a question from Guy Hong from Satu Hati Toastmasters Club, a club in Malaysia. Now, David, you have said so much about mentoring. Have you ever felt burned out in mentoring someone?
I talked about the lady who had the same speech 10 times. I feel a little bit burnt out at the end, but she took what she took. And you know exactly, it was probably a lesson for me that I just need to, I wasn't judgmental, but we do form opinions, and I needed to learn that this was her reality. This is what she wanted to speak about, and she will get out of it what she gets out of it. So sometimes for me, I have been a little bit burnt out, but I've learned to just compartmentalize myself away from her situation. And it's probably not a bad thing to remember. That was the example for me.
Thank you, David. That's all the time we have for today's FAQ session. There's another session as anything session after this. And by that, I will pass the floor to our Madam President, Patricia Yap.
Thank you, Alif.
Certainly. Thank you so much to our FAQ Master. Alif is going to be busy again because the next moment we certainly want to recognize our distinguished Toastmaster David Fisher for certainly giving us a lot of fresh perspectives on mentoring. My greatest take is actually to give the mentee a lot of space. And as a mentor, we need to let go sometimes and let them go through the entire process. I thought that is something that I really need to pick up and really need to learn. How about you? What is that most impactful takeaway that you have right now? Go ahead and share it in the text chat box. And right now, we would also get Alif to get ready to share the screen. And we'd like to encourage all of you to video on right now because we are going to take a group photo very shortly as well. So go ahead, Alif, and share our appreciation and certainly acknowledgement session right now. Thank you so much, David. We love you. Thank you so much for spending your time, your knowledge, and certainly your wisdom on the power of mentoring. We also want to recognize David with the very, very precious certificate that we have custom made for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's spotlight David. Yes, and take a photo and spotlight myself as well. Thank you so much for being a part of our masterclass so that we can be better mentor and certainly better mentee. Patsy, are you ready? Go ahead and take the photo. Yay.
Great. I'm going to count 1 and 2 and smile 3. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patsy, our VPPR, and certainly thank you, David. We would like to recognize all the role players today for helping all of us to be part of this amazing session. Zoom Master, FAQ Master Alif, and myself and Alicia as our Toastmaster of the day. Chat Master Daphne Tan, thank you for your service. And photographer and timer Patsy Wu, our VPPR. Ask David anything Master Suisi will be on board later. And certainly we want to thank all the role players for your time to support this very important event. So let's spotlight everyone right now and we will take a photo with David. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love you.
Great. I'm going to count another 1, 2, 3, smile. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now it's the time for us to take the group photo. So we will unspotlight everyone. I actually want to acknowledge some of our very important guests in the house. First off, I want to recognize Diane Law. She was actually David's mentee when she was in Australia. It's so great to have you, Diane. And certainly we want to also acknowledge all our passionate leaders from District 49, Jen, Yanikar, Emmy, and we just can't say enough thank you for your presence here. And we also want to recognize all the leaders in District 51 and District 102 and District 67 and even beyond. I also want to spotlight our Yunling. Yunling, I believe you are the TLI chair or the PQD of District 67. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now that all of us are almost there, turn on your video so that we can capture this very memorable moment. Over to you, Patsy.
Great. Let's take photos together. There are going to be 2 pages. So you can be one of the pages or even on both. So let's have those beautiful, sparkling smile. Okay, the first photo, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, smile. Great. Just one moment. I'm going to save these photos. Very precious.
Yeah. And spam some love if you can. The emoticon.
Exactly. Just wait for the second page is coming. One moment. Okay, I'm gonna just switch on to the second page. By the way, you could be on the second page as well. Okay, everybody switch on and have a smile. Now I'm gonna do countdown. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, now we're going to invite everybody to say thank you in your own language, and David in your mother tongue, your native language. Of course, we'll wrap it up with a big thank you and maloha, right? Or mahalo. I got it confused.
Mahalo.
Mahalo, yeah. Actually, Alicia is going to lead this session right now. Okay, Alicia, go ahead.
All right, mahalo, thank you, and dankeschön.
All right.
Dankeschön. Yeah.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen,
Thank
unmute yourself.
Yeah. Yell it out, folks. Yell it out.
Yell it out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Selamat.
Yeah, terima kasih.
All right, then collectively we all now unmute already. You have warmed up your voice. We want to send David your love as well. So just let David know I love David. Is that okay? Or you go, we love David as well, David. Please bear with us. This is our way of expressing our gratitude to you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on my count, 3, 2, 1.
We love you,
We love you,
David.
David.
Thank you. I feel the love and I love you too.
We love you, David. Okay, let's do it in unison, all right? Alicia, you want to be the conductor? Okay, in unison.
Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. We love you,
We
David.
love
you, David.
Okay, more. We love you, David.
We love you,
love you,
David.
David.
More
We
enthusiasm,
love you,
guys. We
David.
love you, David.
We love
We
you,
love
David.
you,
David.
David.
Thank you.
I feel the love.
Thank you. Thank you. It has been an awesome session. I can see there are still a lot of questions coming up. So to keep it really nice and clean and simple, I'm going to first off extend my greatest gratitude to all of you for making time here with us. And I do believe we all have some takeaway. So from a scale of 1 to 5, if you learn just a little bit, yes, that would be a 1. But if you really learn a lot, go ahead and type in the chat box 5 so that we can know how much takeaway you have taken from here. That encourages us as well. We love feedback and we certainly are here to serve you long term, okay? And I'm just so happy that we are able to make a difference in your journey as a Toastmaster. And certainly the power of mentoring is always underrated. But if you really understand that power of mentoring, it can be the biggest game changer in your entire journey as a speaker, as a leader. On this note, thank you so much for being here with us. We absolutely appreciate your presence. And before we go, please stay back because we have another session of Ask David Anything. But if you really need to leave right now, that's fine as well. We recognize your presence and certainly your enthusiasm to learn. And the most important lesson that we want to share with everybody is learn and please apply in your world of Toastmasters and even beyond. I'm just so passionate. Beyond the world of Toastmasters, I think that really makes such a huge difference in our world out there. So on this note, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here with us. And before we go, if you have to go, please go. But if you don't, please stay. Before that, give yourself a big hug. This is a virtual hug to David as well. David, you can really feel it.
Oh, I can. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you. So we will adjourn the meeting right now, and I shall pass the floor over to Ask David Anything, Suisin, all the way from Myanmar. Keep the questions coming in. I'm sure Suisin picked up a few questions already. So Suisin, over to you.
Hello, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much, our president, DTM Patricia Yap. So hello, everyone. Welcome to our Ask Anything David session. So you can ask any question to our speaker. You can unmute yourself or maybe you can type in the chat box also. So yeah, let's start the session and feel free to ask any question. There is like it's okay, yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, Suisin, before that, I think we have a few questions that was not picked up. Maybe you can just go
In
down.
the chat.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
that would be great.
Okay, let me see again.
If not, I can ask a question.
Okay, sure. Please go ahead, Toastmaster Alif.
So, David, when do you think a person is ready to be a mentor?
Oh, yeah. So Toastmasters says after six months and one path and all that. I believe that we could be a mentor very soon after we start evaluating, which is after 4, 5, 6 speeches. I think the experience is a valuable one because you start to see the two sides of the coin. It varies. You know, it's a personal thing. Some people will get in and after 3 speeches, they really get it. We all join Toastmasters at